All right, when in doubt on a slow summer Thursday, let's talk about edge rushers.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Matt Derry with you on a Thursday edition of Locked On Lions, right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day on a Thursday, June 26th into Friday, June 27th. Thank you for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you, too, to those of you that watch daily on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. You subscribe, you check us out on YouTube, and we appreciate all of you. If you're not a subscriber on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and check us out daily right here on Locked On Lions. What about our everyday listeners? Props to the everydayers that are out there that watch and listen to the podcast daily. Met a couple of everydayers today, or saw a couple of everydayers today at the robust and always fruitful Southeast Michigan Chamber of Commerce luncheon at Andiamo in Warren, or as some of you like to call it, Andiamo's in Warren. My guy, Steve Unruh. Steve is a frequent listener here of Locked On Lions. And my boy, Chad Toms. I met Chad's daughter, Paige, today. She is 10 times better looking than her father. But awesome to see the Toms clan today. And Paige is great people, loves her Lions. So I got to give her some shouts as well. All right, it is a Thursday edition, everybody. We got to talk about edge rushers. Yes, a free agent edge rusher is out there now. A former Cleveland Brown has been let go. We will explain coming up momentarily here on the program. Also, William Keenist, yes, BK, the BK broiler, the famous, infamous, over 36 years with the Lions, Bill Keenist, Lions legendary historian and public relations guy and director of PR, media relations, coordinator, everything. Bill went into the Pro Football Hall of Fame today. Pretty cool in Canton. I want to give some love to Bill. Saw an article online. Yes, backup quarterback chatter. Could the Lions trade Hendon Hooker? Why would they do that? We'll get into that coming up. And if you've been catching what's been going on in the NBA over the last 24 hours, another reason why the NFL is superior to the NBA. I'm not going to bash the NBA all the time, but something happened over the last couple of days that just goes to show why the NFL is king and the NBA's second place, but a distant second. All of that today here on this Thursday edition of Locked On Lions. If you missed any of the previous shows this week, including Brett Whitefield joining us from Fantasy Points on Tuesday, go back and listen or watch and check us out right here on Locked On Lions. All right, it's the summertime. It's late June. We don't have rookies reporting until July 16th. We don't have veterans reporting until July 19th. And again, it's a little bit early, but the Lions are playing in the Hall of Fame game on the 31st. So they're going to get the first crack at getting their players into Allen Park and to training camp. Hot button topics. We know what they all are. Who's going to play center? Who's going to be the edge rusher opposite of Aiden Hutchinson, right? All of that. But today, here on a slow summer Thursday, I've got to bring up the edge rusher room again. And let's start with the news of the day. As the Cleveland Browns today have released and cut 30-year-old edge rusher Ogbo Okoronkwo. Some of you are going to go, never heard of him. Okoronkwo is a decent, serviceable depth edge rusher. Before last season, so before the 2023 season, Okoronkwo had signed a 3-year, $19 million deal with the Browns. He was coming off a 2022 campaign in Houston as a former 5th-round pick of the Rams, where he had 5 sacks and 44 tackles for the Texans. He's 30 years of age. Today, the Browns released him, getting out from underneath his contract. Final year of the 3-year, $19 million deal. They have picked up some guys in free agency. They've got some other guys that they like. And so Ogbo Okoronkwo is now available. Last year for the Browns, 3 sacks in 2023, 4.5 sacks. He has 17 sacks in his career. Again, a former 5th-round pick of the Los Angeles Rams, and I'm going to connect that in a second. Okoronkwo, decent football player. 3 years in LA with the Rams, 19, 20, and 21. Played 2022 in Houston on a 1-year deal. And then the Browns gave him 3 years and $19 million. And he was entering the last year of his deal, played his college ball at Oklahoma. Now, number one, what do we always say about the Lions? Anytime there could be an edge rushing candidate out there, the Lions should take a look. We know that Okoronkwo's former teammate in Cleveland, Za'Darius Smith, is still available. But Okoronkwo is 2 years younger than Za'Darius. Probably will come cheaper than Za'Darius Smith. Is he as good a football player? No. But you never know with organizations how they feel about how they're going to pay people, what they're going to pay people. So Okoronkwo is now available. Remember, he was drafted by Les Snead and the Rams in 2019, and who was Les Snead's one of his assistant GMs at the time, none other than Lions general manager Brad Holmes. So Brad Holmes knows the player. He's got Rams ties. He's got Holmes ties. Could there be a fit where Okoronkwo is given an opportunity to sign with the Lions? He's going to land somewhere. In 2023 with the Browns, he tore his pectoral muscle and he elected not to go on injured reserve at the end of the year on that Browns team, decided to opt to not have surgery, played in the last regular season game and in the playoff game against the Texans. So the kid's tough. A lot of guys would shut it down if you tear your pectoral muscle and need surgery. He decided to just go through treatments and not have surgery. So you let that kind of is a Dan Campbell type of player. He's 30 years of age. He's not great, but he can get around the edge a little bit. He's a little bit more undersized than Za'Darius Smith, but he is an edge, kind of outside linebacker type, and he is available. Last time we kind of looked at that Lions edge rusher room, which is something that we love to do on this program. And you realize that obviously you've got Aiden Hutchinson coming back. And after Aiden Hutchinson is a massive drop-off. Question remains, will Marcus Davenport be healthy enough to be that right defensive end and complement Hutchinson in a positive way? All right. Davenport, when healthy in Minnesota and New Orleans, can ball. He can play. Question is, can he stay healthy? After Hutchinson and Davenport, you've got Josh Paschal in the last year of his deal, Al-Qadim Muhammad on a 1-year deal, Ahmed Hassanin, the team's 6th-round pick from Boise State, Isaac Ukwu, who last year, along with Mitchell Agude, and both of those guys are back, had very good August, very good training camps, didn't see a ton of time during the regular season, but those guys are out there and available. The Lions also have a guy like Levi Onwuzurike, who they can kick outside on occasion. And Raekwon Williams, the former Michigan State Spartan and Carolina Panther, was signed for depth. He is also available, as is Nate Lynn, who played sparingly last year. So the Lions have some guys that they're going to trot out. Everybody believes that eventually Za'Darius Smith is going to be on the team. But again, what if Za'Darius wants too much money and the Lions aren't willing to go there? Could Okoronkwo be a guy that the Lions take a look at? I would say they're going to take a peek at everybody. And look, you could sign guys now and cut them. They come in to work out. You could sign them and cut them. I mean, the Browns are releasing a player on a random Thursday in June here. So, rosters, the Lions have 91 players on the roster right now. So keep an eye on that. That could be a fit. Again, he's got Brad Holmes ties because he started his career with the Rams. He's a guy that's gotten to the quarterback before. His best season was a couple of years ago in Houston. But Ogbo Okoronkwo could be a option for Detroit. I, for one, still believe that Za'Darius Smith will end up with the Lions, and I think he'll end up with the Lions right around the end of the preseason. But stranger things have happened. And again, there's other teams out there that would be maybe willing to go out there and try to get Za'Darius Smith. But that's the very latest. That's a player that certainly has some Brad Holmes ties that could be a Lion. the Lions could take a look at him, bring him in for a workout, whatever, and make a decision on him. All right, coming up next, an ode to Bill Keenist. We will do that right here on Locked On Lions. And our Thursday edition of Locked On Lions today brought to you by our friends at Monarch Money. Ever wish managing your money felt easier? With Monarch Money, it can. Whether you're growing your savings or planning a big purchase, Monarch puts you in the driver's seat. It's like having your own personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is more than a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place. So in addition to managing your money, you're also building wealth, all right? How has having everything in one app made it easier to manage your money day to day? It's simple, right? You want to do that. You want that one-stop shop, and that is where Monarch Money, all right, has all the answers. You want it to be on that one app, and they do a great job with it, all right? All your financial goals you want to get serious about, Monarch Money can help you accomplish those goals. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use the code LOCKEDONNFL at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNFL for half off your first year. All right, Matt Derry back with you on a Thursday edition of Locked On Lions. No show tomorrow, just 4 this week. We're back, I believe, next week with the full Monty, full 5 days. We appreciate all of you making us your first listen, checking us out wherever you get your podcasts here on Locked On Lions. All right, let's do a little inside bit here. Let's do a little inside baseball, as they say. My buddy Bill Keenist, who was the longtime Lions PR guy, and at times somebody I did not get along with, I'll be honest. Bill Keenist is something's happening to him. It happened to him today, which is extremely well-deserved. All right. Bill Keenist was with the Detroit Lions as their PR chief for over 35 years, 67 years of age. And he was the team historian briefly in 2021 after being booted by the Lions. There was a little bit of a Rod Wood house cleaning at one time. And unfortunately, Bill lost his position as the head of Lions public relations. But regardless, before that, he was with the team for like 35 years. And today, Bill Keenist is being honored with the Pro Football Hall of Fame's Award of Excellence. He went into Canton today. There will be a plaque in the hallway in Canton at the Pro Football Hall of Fame, outside the same room that has all the busts that include guys that Bill Keenist worked with, like Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders and others. So Bill Keenist going into the Hall of Fame today as one of the 3 Award of Excellent recipients in public relations category. Bill is 67 years of age, and this has got to be, and he's got awesome sons. Chris is hilarious. Just a good guy. All right. And Bill is a legend up in the Oxford community. And for many, many years, he ran PR for Detroit. Want to know how popular Bill was with the people that he worked with? Today at the ceremony in Canton, Matthew Stafford was there. Jim Caldwell was there. Rod Marinelli was there. Eric Kramer was there. All the media relations directors that worked below Bill that were with him, Mike Murray, Matt Barnhart, and Eamon Reynolds, who's now running the show there, all in attendance to support BK. I think that is absolutely awesome. And here's the thing about Bill, all right? Bill at times was a gigantic pain in the butt, all right? Because Bill cared so much about the Lions. Bill's a Pittsburgh guy, actually grew up with loving the Steelers, worked for the Redskins for a while, but Bill had so much passion and so much love for the Lions, he fought for that franchise. He defended those players and those coaches like nobody I ever saw. There were days, and I'll take the curtain down for a second. There were days when I worked with Mike and Terry at the Ticket. My cell phone would ring during a show, right in the middle of the show, when Valenti's going on a rant about something Lions related. And it was Bill. And I'd look at my phone. I'm like, here we go. I'm like, hello? He's like, Matt, you got to tell Mike, he's wrong about this. Bill was fighting for his team. And there, yes, is the infamous story that is out there, and none of it's ever been confirmed, and I can't tell you it's 100%. that the Lions left. 97 won the ticket because of a Keenist versus Valenti, sort of feud, and Bill telling them no longer to be on the station that had Mike there. And I don't know if that's true or not. They ended up going to WJR. They ended up coming back. But Bill fought for the Lions, and Bill was extremely well-liked around the league. And after the Lions kind of demoted him a bit, the league had Bill at the Super Bowl every year. The league had Bill at Ford Field for playoff games, helping the league with stuff. He's that well-respected. Always was pretty good to me. I got to be honest. Bill was always good to me. We had our bouts for sure, whether I was at WDFN, 105.1 or the ticket, but you can't take away the passion that he had for the team, and the people that worked for him really, really loved him. And he worked so well with those coaches, whether it was Jim Schwartz, Matt Patricia, Caldwell, Marinelli, any of them, Wayne Fonts, and guys like Barry Sanders and Calvin Johnson swear by him. And for Matthew Stafford to fly across the country from LA to Canton to be there today tells you a little bit something about Bill. So congratulations to Bill Keenist. I used to refer to it as 222 Keenist Drive. Before now, we changed it to Rod Wood. So congrats, Bill, on going into the Hall, and that is pretty cool. So the Lions, another member of the Lion organization going in. I find that to be pretty sweet. All right, so I got an email today or a tweet, or somebody hit me up and said, hey, there's an article online I want you to read. So yes, the internet sometimes can be a wacky place. But today at heavy.com, and an article written by Nathan Doherty. I don't know Nathan. He's a sports reporter that covers the Bills, Lions, and Dolphins. He wrote a piece about Hendon Hooker. Quote, Lions could trade quarterback once seen as successor to Jared Goff. This was written yesterday. And it talks about Hendon Hooker and how kind of has gotten off to a slow start in his NFL career. Basically didn't play 2 years ago. Last year didn't play much because he was backing up Jared Goff. And then at the end of the year, as we all know, Teddy Bridgewater came in for the final couple of games, played a little bit in the playoff game, and Hendon Hooker was the third quarterback. Now the Lions, of course, have brought in Kyle Allen, the journeyman and former Carolina Panther and Washington Commander and Baltimore Raven. Kyle Allen is in, and this article speculates that if Kyle Allen wins the backup job, that the Lions will look to possibly trade Hendon Hooker to a quarterback-needy team. Look, the Lions aren't trading Hendon Hooker today, nor do I think the Lions are going to be trading Hendon Hooker ever. Number one, as I've said on this podcast numerous times, I know Kyle Allen and Mark Brunell have a previous relationship. I don't think Kyle Allen is any good. He has started 19 games. He's thrown 26 touchdowns and 21 interceptions. Carolina Panthers moved on from him because he wasn't any good. And so while we could sit here and try to fill some airspace in the summertime, I don't think the Lions are in any hurry to trade Hendon Hooker. Still a young guy. I know he's not a 22-year-old guy. Hendon Hooker's what, 25 now? 26. He was a late bloomer, was older in college, then tore his ACL, has needed 2 years to kind of get his sea legs under him. Yes, when the Lions drafted him at the time, I did think at that time they weren't sure whether Jared Goff was going to be the long-term answer. Jared Goff is the long-term answer, right? Hendon Hooker is not, NOT not, taking over for Jared Goff anytime soon. But if anything were to happen to Jared Goff, Lions want to have a viable backup. We saw Hendon Hooker play last year in the preseason. There were some good moments and there were some meh moments. He can move. He can run. We know that. Question is, can he run an offense and can he pass the football? But any articles speculating on the internet or wherever that the Lions are looking to trade him or thinking about trading him or could trade him, I think the Lions are going to go into the season with 3 quarterbacks. Then last year they had 3 quarterbacks. I'm not sure. I think they want to have Hendon Hooker and Kyle Allen compete throughout the season. And if Hendon gets better and something happens to Jared Goff, you throw that change of pace in with Hooker and his ability to scramble and move, you might have something here. Kyle Allen is not very good either. And he may be bad in the preseason to the point where the Lions just release him. And I don't think there's a trade market for Kyle Allen. There is a trade market for Hendon Hooker. But I don't think the Lions are going to pull the trigger on that because they're trying to win. And knock on wood, if Goff were to get hurt, you do not want to miss a beat. You want to do as best you can with what you have. So I'm not ready to count out Hendon Hooker just yet or say, oh, now that they signed Kyle Allen, that means they're going to trade Hendon Hooker. It's not how Brad Holmes operates. That's not how this franchise operates at all. All right, coming up next, I saw something last night at the NBA draft, and it's like, this just confirms again that the NFL knows what they're doing. I'll explain next here on Locked On Lions. Hey, new sponsor here on the podcast, Rugiet. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rugiet Ready. Rugiet Ready is a next-gen prescription treatment designed to amplify arousal in the brain and boost blood flow. Unlike the usual pills that can take hours, Rugiet's 3-in-1 formula dissolves under your tongue and kicks in fast, on average in 15 minutes. Effects can last up to 36 hours, so you can stay confident and in control when the moment is right. You can even read real customer reviews on their website. It's helping a lot of people feel more confident and present in the moment, all right? And it's completely online, all right? Rugiet connects you with a board-certified doctor and ships your treatment discreetly to your door. Head to Rugiet.com/LockedOnNFL. Use code LockedOnNFL to get 15% off today. That's RUGIET.com/LockedOnNFL. Use the promo code LockedOnNFL for 15% off. Individual results may vary with prescription treatment. Compounded drugs are permitted to be prescribed under federal law, but are not FDA approved and do not undergo FDA safety, effectiveness, or manufacturing review. Please visit the Rugiet website for full safety information. All right, for those of you that don't know, the NBA draft was last night and tonight. If you liked the first round last night, you're going to love the second round tonight. Yes, the NBA has decided to go with a different format. Instead of the draft being one night, which usually was the last Thursday in June, they're going 2 nights and extended it with the first round last night and the second round tonight. Pistons did not have a first round pick last night, so they were not even involved in any of the action. But our good friend and an old buddy, Joe Dumars, running the New Orleans Pelicans. He's trading up, making moves. Bill Simmons is ripping them. It's like old times. But folks, if you watched intently last night, and I'll be honest, I did not. I did catch a lot of the back half of the first round. The NBA's got something so screwed up. Even Scott Van Pelt on the very own network that has the NBA rights on ESPN was railing on this last night, and he's spot on. How many players, if you were just watching with the sound off, you would know what team was drafting what player. Now, it says Atlanta Hawks on the screen. All right, it says Phoenix Suns on the screen. It says Charlotte Hornets on the screen, but it's not. Give you an example. Liam McNeely of UConn played 1 year, was a freshman last year, decent player. He went like 28, 29, 30, something like that. And he got drafted by the Charlotte Hornets. But the Hornets had made a trade with the Suns, so it says on the screen, Phoenix Suns. Adam Silver says with the 30th pick, the Phoenix Suns select Liam McNeely from UConn. The kid starts crying. He's happy. Family's involved. Shout out to Danny Wolf from Michigan, Jace Richardson from Michigan State. Those guys even got some dap last night. Danny's going to Brooklyn, and Jace is going to the Magic. But McNeely gets drafted by the Phoenix Suns because Adam Silver said so. Kid hugs his family, his friends, daps up Danny Hurley. He goes up to the podium, to the stage, puts on his Phoenix Suns hat, except he's not playing for Phoenix. He's playing for Charlotte. What are we doing? When there's trades made at the NFL draft, do you know what happens? They announce them right away. They say, the Jets have moved up to 14. It's a trade. There's Schefter. There's Rappaport. There's whomever. Roger Goodell gets up there and says with the 14th pick, the Jets select, and they pick a player, and the player wears the Jets hat. The NBA's got to go through some rigmarole, jumping through hoops, putting it in pencil, putting white out. I don't know what they're doing. They can't figure these trades out fast enough. So all these kids that are wearing these hats are all wrong. A good portion of it was wrong. New Orleans traded up to 13 with, I don't remember what team it was, Sacramento maybe, to get Derek Queen from Maryland. The Pelicans were making that pick at 13, not Sacramento. But yet, there's the hat, there's the commissioner, there's the announcement. It's confusing, man. The NFL would never do that. The NFL's got their bleep together at all times. They make mistakes. Okay, there's plenty of errors made. I don't like that the NFL is putting too many games on Netflix and Roku and Amazon, and playoff games not over air TV drives me crazy. But for the most part, when it comes to like the draft and free agency and player acquisitions and everything else, the NFL has got it down. What is the NBA doing? Why are these players wearing hats of teams they're not playing for? Get it right. It's an easy announcement. It's an easy fix. If Shams on ESPN knows the trade was made and us at home have heard that the trade was made, or you're watching it on Twitter and following it that way, it just makes absolutely zero sense and was really stupid. And again, the NFL would get raked over the coals if they were to do that. But yet the NBA still, and it's going to watch for it tonight. Watch for it tonight when a team is drafting a player and he's not going to that team. It's bonkers. NFL draft is still the best, man. It's still great. All right, that'll do it for us on this Thursday edition of Locked On Lions. Another fun week of shows. We are back again Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Here on Locked On Lions.